Hi guys, I'm Dominic and this is the World Class Happiness channel. Now I'm going to make a video today that's hopefully going to help a lot of people. And this is, I'm going to give you some advice. I've already given this advice out on a previous video, but I'm going to sort of add to it because I've learned, you know, how to deal with things even better since then. Now, this is advice that I wish I would have included in my book that I wrote some time ago called World Class Happiness. I wish I'd have included that in the book, but I didn't actually know this piece of advice then. This is advice that I've been given since I finished the book, and I thought it was fantastic, and I use it to this day. I've been through some tough times in my life at particular times, but when I was going through my toughest times, I didn't know this, so I wish I had, and it would have really have helped me. Now, I'm going to send this video out probably to some individuals who are struggling quite a lot with various different things at the minute, and probably, you know, there's always going to be times that we go through in our lives where you kind of think, oh, why is this happening to me? And if you haven't ever had that situation, it's probably going to come at some point. You're gonna have that situation where you feel like it's a little bit surreal and you can't believe that something's happening to you. We all tend to go through those rocky periods in our life. Okay, now the advice really is to imagine. Okay, so sort of think about the problems that you're having at that particular time, the things that you're struggling with. If you can imagine your absolute worst day that you could possibly think of. All right, now I'm sure there's things that you could think of right now which are way worse than where you are right now. The absolute worst scenario that you could possibly think of, your most hellish day, if you like, a day you'd never ever want to experience, and you probably won't. Put yourself in that position right now. Try and imagine yourself in that position. Really try and see it as vividly as you can, and really try and feel how you would feel in that situation. And then at that point, try and imagine how badly you'd want to be back at this point, the point where you're struggling. Okay, now all of a sudden, that point now, the point, let's say that, you know, where you feel like you're struggling, that point will now feel like a blessing. It's almost like you're happy to be there. And it's a strange way to do things. You kind of conjure up worse scenarios in your head and then wish you were back at a bad situation. But that works. It's worked for me, and I believe it could work in the worst situations almost. Now, I guess the answer to that, or the counter to that, would be, well, what about if it was your very worst day? What about if the very worst thing happened to you? How do you then cope with that? The way to cope with that, obviously I've never experienced my absolute worst day, but if I had to cope with my absolute worst day and I was to survive it, I guess the way I would look at it then is that nothing could ever be as bad as that ever again. In which case, if you got through that day, you can get through every single day after that, and it'll never ever be as bad. So whichever way you look at it, you've always got an answer. You've always got a way to cover your feelings and the way to deal with your emotions. So that's pretty much it. Now, it's simple advice, but it's really good advice. Like I say, I use it even to this day. If I ever have a really terrible time going forward, I would definitely be using this technique. And hopefully I don't get to use it much, but it's something that is always in the toolbox, if you like, to bring out. So if you are really struggling at the moment, and there's things that you feel like you're finding difficult to cope with, then use this little technique. It may help you. Hopefully it does. And I'm going to leave it there today. So hopefully that helped, and I'll see you again on another video. Cheers, guys.